I'm Joyanne, fashion editor at Girl. Today, just in time for prom season, I'm going to show you how to make run-worthy evening bags easy and on the cheap. I'm going to create two different bags for two totally different looks. The first is a black satin clutch with oversized embellishments. I'm inspired by the runways of Vera Wang and have been drooling over the uber-expensive Debbie Kroll and Miu Miu accessories. But who needs to break the bank when you can do it yourself? My other bag channels your inner rocker girl. I've been obsessed with punk lately, and I love how some studs add a little bit of cool to even the most feminine outfit. Designers from Diane von Furstenberg to Burberry have been using grommets, studs, and chainmail to add a little rock and roll to their collections. By adding a few heavy metal studs and switching out the chain, I'm going to rock this bag out. I started by picking up a couple of really simple clutches. I looked for fabrics that would be smooth and easy to glue on. And I also kept in mind the type of bag that I was making. For the black jeweled one, I wanted a silhouette that was soft and curvy and very feminine. For the silver studded one, I wanted a sturdier silhouette. Next, I went in search of some big, bright gemstones and silver studs. I headed to Beads World in NYC's Garment District, but your arts and crafts store should have a similar selection. While I was there, I also picked up some fabric glue, any brand should work, and a set of large tweezers, although you can definitely use your hands. Let's start with the jeweled bag. I just love how big jewels add a little quirky cool to any old accessory. So when I was picking out my beads, I tried to pick out a lot of different colors so that it would stay a little funky and not too precious. Definitely keep your prom dress in mind when you're choosing your colors. I'm going to make a bag for a jewel tone dress, so I definitely want to include reds, emeralds, and purples. I recommend laying out the design before you glue it. And it kind of gives you an idea of how many colors you want to incorporate or how many jewels you want to do. So I'm going to start with the clasp. And I'm going to make my center stones a lavender and a light gray. So try to put on as much glue as possible. If it seeps out the side, it's no big deal. Once it dried, it was really easy to peel off. Next, I'm going to glue my secondary color, the lavender. So the great thing about this project is, as you go, you can kind of see in what direction you want to go. When I first did this bag, after I finished the clasp, I thought it looked so pretty I was going to leave it alone. But I decided that I'm never one for simple, so I added 2 more rows of gems, which I think ended up looking fantastic. And for this one, I'm going to go on to the purse as well. All right. Now that I'm done, I'm going to move my gems around just a little to make sure they're evened out just where I want them to. And now I'm going to let it dry. Once it dries, all this excess glue is really easy to peel off. That's actually what I really ended up using my tweezers for. I just love how a few subtle pieces makes this bag totally your own. Now for our Rockstar bag. If you're the kind of girl that isn't into ruffles and frou-frou, this is the bag for you. So at the bead store, I picked these studs that I felt were flat and would be easy to glue on. Notice I picked a matte silver so that it would contrast well with the shiny silver bag I had chosen. You can use all kinds of things for this. In fact, you could even use old dimes and nickels, which would look really cool. So the key to the first part of this bag is finding your center, because you're simply going to make rows of these studs going across. So find your center. I did this again by laying it out before gluing, which was a little bit easier on this flat surface. I also decided how many rows I was going to make back, and I decided just to go to the crease of the clutch. Now that I have my center, I'm going to pick the middle one and start there. Once that is glued down, it becomes like a game of Tetris. After you finish gluing your rows of studs, I'd like to add one final touch. I'm going to swap out this boring cord for an awesome chain. The first step is to just cut the cord in half, like this. Next, open up the bag and thread the first half of the cord through the end of one part of the chain, like this. Next, I double knotted it for security. You could also add a little bit of fabric glue on the knot, I think, to make it a little bit more sturdy. And then just go in and cut off a little bit of the excess rope. Like that. And do the exact same thing on the other side. And look, a perfect rock and roll bag. I've been stopped in the streets with this bag. No matter what your personality, one of these fun and inexpensive bags is going to give you that individual touch. Let's see how these pieces can shake up your prom look.